Here we are on the new. Well, this is the first episode in the new year for us, and we have Karla on here. Karla is a dear friend of mine. I've known Karla. How long have I known you, Karla? 7 years?
Probably a little more.
7 years. Can't believe that. Maybe even more. Karla, I think you came into my life when I was like early on in my marriage, and then like yeah, that was probably 7 or 8 years. Anyway, so yeah, Karla and I met in corporate, and we became like really good friends. But what's so interesting, other than like you being a great person, a great friend, but like the how really the highlight why we wanted to make this episode is because every time you and I are talking, we talk about traveling and how you made a decision one day to just pause corporate life and then just like go travel the world, which is very inspiring, and I still try to wrap my head around it because like I think that I do have that itch and I just can't get myself to just make that decision. Every time I talk about it, it's like this would be such a good conversation for a podcast, like we just need to record it. So there we are. And I know you know Amal knows you. So I don't know if there's
Welcome
a
to the
need for
show.
introductions.
Thank you, guys.
Uh
I'll like try to pause it. I'll try to not interrupt as I just did that.
yeah. Well, Kyle, do you want to start with saying anything? Anything that comes to your mind?
No, I mean, you guys have more of a social media platform. I'm just a regular person, right? So
Just a regular
I'm just
person.
here, just here to like help, like, you know, like you have questions.
We're all normies.
Are we blinding you with our light, Karla? Are we?
Well, you
Can
are
you see?
shining. You are shining right now.
Thank you, thank you. I think it's the light coming in. I'm reflecting. I'm reflecting you.
Oh,
There we go.
goodness. Filled with compliments, these peeps. These peeps. No, I don't have anything to say. I just, yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome to the show. I
Yeah.
guess let's go all the way back to one of the main questions we were talking about on our phone call last week, which is how it all started. Do you want to talk a little bit about like how the idea started? And if you want me to trigger that convo again, is you were telling me how like the idea came up and then you talked about it with a coworker that was like
Mhm.
shut down really quick. And
Yeah.
then you kind of was just like, ugh, whatever. But you want to go ahead, talk a little bit
Yeah.
about that, and then
I
we
feel
can
like I
dive
haven't
into
been
more.
able to talk to Mel about this.
Yeah, I don't know any of
Yes.
this. Tell
So
me.
like,
So what sparked it? Like what broke your brain? Because I know whenever I do something like that, it's like something happened and it broke my brain, and I'm like, fuck this, I'm out. Like, was there a hinge moment? What happened?
I don't know. I feel like there were many moments. What you're talking about, Noelle, was I was in corporate probably like 3 years in. And I could feel like I was antsy. You know, you struggle with the normal corporate things and like politics and all of that. And I was like, what if I just took a sabbatical for 3 months? Like, what could go wrong? But I asked someone who I am still really close with, that I knew would say, it's the craziest idea ever. And like, you shouldn't, because he's very like disciplined. And like, I just knew he would say no.
Why
Like,
did you
the
want
odds
that?
are low.
Yeah, why
Um,
did you want that? Because you know, like, why did you want for that person?
Probably because I wanted, you know, like I didn't want to do it. Like,
You were
the reason why I
scared.
say that now, it's because hindsight. Oh, I asked him, he said, that's crazy. Why would you do that? And I was like, okay, thank you. And then I went about my day, but I still wanted to always like move to Spain. I say this all the time. Like, I just want to move to Spain. I want my
Spain's on
like,
my list, girl.
like, even though they hate tourists moving there, or, like expats, but I speak the language. It's fine. But anyways,
Wait, how do
I
you
was
know that they hate us or expats? Like,
just when you go there, like didn't they recently, they got in trouble in the news because they were
no
like,
way.
they were attacking like tourists. So like they were lowering their tourism. Don't quote me. I'm really bad at like this is all TikTok. All my
I
news
Girl,
comes from
this ain't
TikTok.
CNN, and even if it was, like, they don't give a fuck about the truth.
But
So I'm not gonna check you.
they were like taking water guns, and like tourists would be like out on that like restaurants. Like, you know how you could sit outside in the terrace, and they were like attacking them, like as if the tourists were the issue and not the government. So yeah, they really, because you know, people from the US, let's say we move there with the US dollar. So then we kind of
Mhm.
like increase their like I
cost of
forget how it
living.
works. Yeah, they're living, right? Because we could afford it. It's super
Yep.
affordable for us, but it's not. It's too high for them. Same problems
Hmm.
we have. Anyways, we got sidetracked.
I love the
Um,
sidetrack. Okay, so wait, where were we?
because I was like, I'd always wanted to move to Spain. I still do. It's
Mm.
Uh,
like something that I would love to do.
uh,
Anyways, I went to, what year was this? December 2022. Yeah,
Wait, is this
2020.
after you talked to old boy and then he said,
Yeah, yeah, this was
"Don't do it"?
probably yeah, I talked to him, like, probably, like, during COVID or, like, after COVID, I can't remember the timing, but, like, some time had passed, like, I had done a different role, I switched
Many moons
jobs.
had passed. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I switched, probably, like, 2 years passed, and I
Okay.
went to London and Spain, and my grandfather had passed.
Sorry.
No, 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 it's fine. I mean, thank you. And then I loved London. I got to see snow for the first time, like on the floor. I didn't get to see it fall, but I got to see snow for the first time. And this wasn't my first trip. I had been to Portugal by myself a long
Okay.
time ago. So I was used to doing it, like going traveling on my own. And then I came home and my parents were in their motherland because my grandfather had passed, so they were handling everything. And I was home by myself and I talked to myself which is
Wait,
very
Carla.
healthy.
Carla, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
I never heard somebody say like in their motherland, but not
Mhm.
like say where. Are you purposely not sharing where?
Oh, no, I could. It was in DR in Dominican Republic. It's fine.
I
Yeah, I
just
do.
love how you said their motherland because I always think of Palestine as the motherland, but then everybody thinks of Africa as the motherland. And I'm like, so, but you said their motherland. It's so sweet. I love how you word things. One, this tangent, I'm sorry, but I
You're
remember the
okay.
day, the day that I was like, when we were here, you're really good at putting things very clearly in a
Mhm.
succinct way, few words as possible. I kept asking like you to like I was like, I want you to talk about this on the podcast, whatever, whatever. And I was like, wait, are you like are you interested? Like do you and you were like, this information that I'm giving you is a privilege of my friendship with you, or something like that. And I was like, in the same moment, I felt checked and cared for. And I was like, that is a skill, dude. Like
Yeah.
just wanted
Yeah.
to shout that out.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I don't know. It's probably all the books I read. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah,
pretending. Yeah, yeah,
it's
I don't know.
probably the effort I put into giving a fuck. Okay,
No,
but
no.
sorry, yeah, back
You're
to you,
good.
you were saying.
I was talking to myself. I was home alone, and like I live with my parents, so like I don't really get a moment to myself. So I had the house to myself. I was just talking to myself,
As
nonsense.
one does, yeah.
Yeah, as one does, but like it just there was a lot of freedom, right? Because I don't sound crazy because no one's here to hear it. And
I
I was
fully
like, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, because you live on your own. Yeah, I'm gonna go crazy when I move out on my own.
I literally out loud to myself was like, "I love living alone, Tay." Like I just just yelled
That's
it.
so
Like I
liberating. You're letting the universe know,
yeah.
like this is
I
perfect.
don't think I'm ever gonna try to live with another human again. I don't know how I'm gonna have a family because I don't want it at
You
this
will,
point.
you will. It's a different chapter. That's different. That's different wisdom. That's yeah. You'll
Yeah,
figure it
she'll
out.
deal with that. We're not dealing with yeah.
Yes.
This me is not dealing with that. Back
She'll
to
be able
you.
to handle it. No, no, you're good. All I did was I was talking to myself and I was like, what are you so scared of? Like, if you could do everything you wanted to do, like what would you do? Like what are you so scared of? I was like, I just quit my job and I'd go travel. Like, and I just said that out loud. And I was like, okay, but what's stopping you from it? And I was like, just disappointing everyone. And then I said, but what about disappointing yourself? Can you live with that? Again, crazy person on my own. But yeah, like that hit hard where it was like disappointing myself. Yeah. Cause I'm like pro me, I'm my best friend. You know what I mean? And I felt like I was not being the best friend to myself by like not exploring what I wanted to explore. So
Wait, Carla,
literally,
where did is it the books you read that taught you to ask yourself those questions? Like,
no, I read smut. I'm not reading anything too eloquently. Like, you know what I mean?
what made
No,
you start talking to yourself this way? Because people talk to themselves all the time, and it's not
I
always
just
this.
always talked. I mean, I feel like I've got to talk to a therapist about that. That's next on the list. But I think
Uh-huh.
because as a young girl, I talked to myself because I felt safer with myself. And, there's a lot of loud noise that, I always had to self regulate. Right. So, like, I'm
Mhm.
just used to self regulating. And that was a really big moment of self regulating. But yeah,
Wow.
once that was done, like I said that out loud, I like took a breath of fresh air and it was like, okay, that's it. And I was like, I have to tell one person. I was like, it can't be someone who's like too biased. It has to be someone who like will just will just take it and receive it and like give me the yes. Like I already gave myself the yes, but I just have to ask someone. Can't be too close. It can't be. So I asked a coworker who I was really close with, but like not too close. Like it wasn't Noelle level, but it wasn't a stranger. And I was like, what if I just like quit my job and like traveled? And she said, cool. Yeah, that'd be sick. And she's like a mom. She's Cuban. And she was like, yeah, I think that's a wonderful thing for you to do. And I said, cool. And that was it. I started planning, I was like 3 months. This is January. So by January, I know I'm quitting my job March. I'm going to all my doctor's appointments. I'm buying a
So
bag.
Carla,
I'm
Carla,
researching.
I want
Yep,
to
stop me.
pause before
Yeah,
we
yeah.
dive into that. When you were talking about like what were the fears that like
Mm-hmm.
maybe could have stopped you from that? You said, disappointing others.
Mm-hmm.
What about like career gaps? Because like I think for me it would be a career gap that would maybe stop me from doing this, or obviously finances. Like have you thought about those, or like those were really like how did you process those?
Okay. So I'll give a little bit of background because I know you know the background. So how old am I now? I'm 29. But back then, I think I was like 26. I'd been living with my parents since graduating college. That wasn't the plan, but COVID hit, right? So I paid off my student loans, I paid off my car, and I was saving up for a house. And then the housing market wasn't as like it was challenging. Florida's really hard to buy a house. And I had significant amount of funds that I knew that if someone else had this amount of funds, they would do something drastic with it. They would do something cool with it. And I was like, if
Mhm.
I died tomorrow, how livid would I be if this was it? Like this is all I have to say. Like it's not that I live a boring life, and being boring is cool and it's just part of life, and privilege is a huge thing. And I'm lucky to be privileged the way I am. But yeah, I had the money, I had the finances. I lived with my parents, right? Like I live with them. I don't owe anyone money. I don't have car payments. I like nothing. So there was like I don't have kids. I've never been in a relationship. Like it goes on, right? Like no one depends on me, maybe emotionally, right? But like I don't owe anyone anything. So it was just the easiest thing. And I'm
Girl,
like
that's how
So
I
one
ended up in Florida. I was sitting there and I was like, if I died tomorrow, the story would be you like grew up in Jersey and you
Mhm,
died in Jersey. And I was like,
mhm.
that can't be it. Like that can't be it. Just go die in Florida then. Like like just
Just
change
switch it
one
up.
thing.
And that's
Yeah,
okay. Some
yeah.
people, that is their story and it's beautiful, and life is so
She's so
complex.
kind.
Well, yeah, because I don't want
trying to
someone to
be
be
nice
sitting at
because this is
home.
on the podcast, but that's how Carla, she always cares about other people. I'm trying to
Well,
break
yeah,
through
you
that.
don't you don't want to feel like judged, right? Or like feel uncomfortable with like, your life
True.
choices. Like life is
Yeah, and it's
hard.
not just that, like, it's a privilege to be able to be like, I'm gonna,
But
even access debt to move to Florida, which I
so
did. I accessed debt. But
let
like
me
I get
just
you.
let me set a tone a little bit for this episode. This episode
Hmm.
is not for someone to feel bad about their life. People have their
Hmm.
own life, people have their own families, people have their own decisions. This
Hmm.
episode is more an inspiration. If someone is in Carla's shoes and does not know where to start, or like maybe contemplating all
Hmm.
those questions, this episode is for you. Oh, this is not for to tell someone else your life is wrong, do what Carla's doing. This is just I was inspired by you and I was just curious to know more. So let's just set this tone so that we don't have to keep coming back and tell people, don't do this if that's not, they can make their own
I'm still
decisions.
going to do that just
Okay.
in case.
All right. I'm
I
just
heard
setting the
you.
tone. Yes. Yes.
That's a lot of pressure to be somebody's inspiration, but sure, yes, I
No, it
can.
is. You are my inspiration. I still have that ick. I am genuinely saying that I have that ick, and I keep wondering. I was like, I
It's
could
not
just
ick
It's
do
not
what
ick.
alone.
It's
Carla
not an
did.
ick.
It's
It's
not
not
ick.
an ick. It's not an ick.
An
You
itch, I mean, I should
itch. There
Itch.
we
say.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're only correcting you because it's a big difference.
It's a
Ick
huge
Yes,
is like when
difference.
you're
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
disgusted.
yeah, yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Especially since
Itch.
you're trying to set a tone to the ick doesn't. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're good.
All I have to say is that you have been an inspiration for me, honestly. I remember the time, like the day when you called me, I was like, she's like, I'm leaving to Europe. I was like, wait, I need to process this. You're doing what? She's like, yeah, I
Yeah.
quit my job. I leave in 2 weeks and da da da. I was like, wait. I need to reprocess this. And I remember hanging up with you on the phone, and I felt like I was so jealous.
Huh,
That's the
that's
emotion
good.
that I felt. I was so jealous. I was like, I wish I could do what she just did. Like, it was so brave, but it was so inspiring, and it was just like it was a positive jealousy that was so inspirational. I was like, yes, like good for her. Like, yes, this is what people should be doing. Just follow your heart, follow your dreams. So back to where you left it off, you made a decision when you went. I just want to know about that part. you went and like what, put in your resignation? Can we talk about that? Like, how did
No,
that
so
feel, or like how did that
no,
go?
it was a long so I decided the first day of 2023, like, the day I'm talking to myself crazy, it's the first day of 2023, and then I think, like, I don't know what day that fell on. It definitely was a weekend, but, like, I must have like, first, like, Monday back to work, I went up to that coworker, and she's the only one I told. So then I, like, had to start thinking about what's my plan. So I was like, "Okay, I'm an accountant, so, like, technically year-end, month-end, all these responsibilities that I have, I don't owe it to the company, but, I wanna leave on a good,
Oh, I'd
um"
have been like,
No, because it was selfish too. It gave me more time to plan, more time to
uh,
save. Like, I still had to like use my insurance
win-win.
because I'm like, when am I gonna get my teeth checked? Or like, when am I gonna go to my gyno? Let me use up my
Mm,
insurance. And I had to like plan and book flights and buy a backpack and all these things. So I didn't really start to tell people probably like a month in. And then I was like, okay, so let me start with like my mom, who's a Latina mom. And we were in I still remember some of these moments just will always stay with you, like all the conversations. But I was at the Chick-fil-A drive-through with my mom. She's in the passenger seat. We're just waiting for the food. And I go, Mom, I think I'm going to quit my job and go travel. And she went, What? But like it was quick. And she like quickly, like she panicked. But then she went, Will you be able to find a job? And I said, Yeah. When I get back, yeah. And she was like, Okay. It was like 180 to what I thought the way she would
I was
react.
like, boop, went
It
back
was
down.
like she panicked, but, like, there was comfort, like, she trusted the fact that I was like, "Oh, I will be able to find a job." Like, I get that that's a concern. So once my mom was like I mean, she had concerns, right? She has safety concerns. I'm sure she had really bad anxiety while I was traveling that she probably doesn't tell me about. But that my mom's so dramatic, like, she's so dramatic. So the fact that she was like,
Did
a
you ever
little bit
ask
of a
her about
panic.
that moment?
I don't remember. No, I haven't gone back to it, but I'd be curious. Yeah, yeah, I'd be curious. But yeah, once I told the one person that would panic the most, like, and probably would make me rethink things, and she was okay with it, I felt like the universe was like giving me a pass and was like, I'm
Mm.
trying to make it easier, like you're going to do it. So
That's
yeah.
amazing. You see the universe in your mama.
Oh
That's really
yeah, yeah,
sweet.
yeah.
Yeah.
See the universe in a lot of things, but yeah, you should always see them in the people you're
So,
connected with. Yeah.
so you told your mom you've been thinking about it for about a month.
Mhm.
How do you even start planning this? Where do you, what was the thought process?
Well, I mentioned that I went to Portugal. That was the first trip I had ever done by myself, straight out of college. First vacation I took at the corporate job that we met at. I went for 2 weeks by myself. Never had left like the US outside of the islands. So this is crazy. So I felt safe with Europe. And obviously I had been to London and Spain, so I felt really comfortable. So I said, I'm gonna start with Europe and then we'll see where it goes. So I did 2.5 months in Europe.
Did
Like
you
I
think
just
about, like, on your way, like, were you like,
Okay.
"I'm gonna hook up with people," or "I'm not"? Like, what was your mindset about who you would engage with, either romantically or platonically? Like, what were you thinking?
So I don't
What were
usually
you
think
thinking?
I like
Yeah.
I have the most odd personality because I don't really go thinking romantically. I did think platonically. Like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna meet all these people. Like this is gonna be cool. The way I was doing it was I was staying at hostels for the first time, um, and some B&Bs. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm gonna like basically be sleeping with strangers in the same room, and this is all really odd. I've done it in college, right? Like when I moved away for
No, that's
college.
psycho.
No,
Yeah.
every time I talk about hostels with my friends, they're like, "What in the
So,
world?"
I did it
Carla,
once. I did it, and I don't think I would do it again, but I did make friends with everybody in the hostel, and I understood. Like,
Yeah,
apparently,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a thing that's way more common internationally. It's just Americans don't fuck with it.
Don't get it. They don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carla, can we just give a timeline map before we dive into the details of the
Mhm.
travel, just so that listeners can see a vision of like what you did within those 2 years. So for the
So,
first year, you did how many months in Europe? Which parts? We don't have to go through countries, but like
yeah,
just
no,
kind
I
of
won't
high level.
remember. Yeah, I
Yeah,
won't remember, like, list by list. I'd have to read something, but I
yeah.
left in beginning of April of 2023 to Europe for 2.5 months, and then I came home
And you did
for
West Europe, right? I remember.
yeah. Yep. I
Okay.
did like 5 countries, I think. And then and there's a reason for that, but we'll get into that. I think I came home for like a month, and
Mm-hmm.
then because I met so many travelers, I went to Southeast Asia. Like, keep in mind, I
Travelers or
never
travelers? What kind of
yeah,
travelers?
no, so this is what I mean, like, I've never hooked up with anyone, I've never been in a relationship, so, like, that's never on my mind.
Okay, I was trying to live vicariously through you because I've always
No.
wanted to do the international hookup, and with the one time I tried it, it did not go well for
Oh,
me and
no,
my
you can,
vagina.
you can. I have friends who did it. I have many stories from other people, but yes,
Okay,
very
cool. So I'll stop. I'll
I
stop
have
pushing
funny
that button.
stories about that. I'll share that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did Southeast Asia 4 months. What was that, like 7, 8 countries? And that
Mm-hmm.
was
Oh
until
wow.
October. Came home for 2 months for the holidays, and then we're in 2024, beginning of 2024, did 5.5 months in Latin America. And then so that was like Central and South, and then came home for 2 weeks for my birthday and to see my family and change the clothes I had in my backpack because I was going to Europe and Asia, so and Australia, so I had to change. So then I did the rest of Europe, Asia, so like China, Japan, Korea, and then went to
Holy
Australia.
shit! You did like a world tour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did big, really big tour. Yeah. And so then I was back October 2024, like middle of it, or closer to the end. Yeah.
I think continent-wise, that's why she has like an itch for the Middle East. I think like the Middle East, like you couldn't touch within those 2 years, and like
Mm-mm.
Africa as a continent, right? Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
everything else, she literally has been all over.
Yeah, I
I
Wait,
didn't
you
get
think
to
couldn't
do
maybe
this.
touch the Middle
East
East?
Europe too, right? East Europe, I think you were able to get to it.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I didn't do the Middle East, not for like, it just I had, like, priorities in other places, but it's still on the it's, like, on the list. It's made its way to the bucket list.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
I was gonna ask because I didn't know if the genocide was stopping the planning, like if it was interrupting international travel
Um,
at the time or not. But it
it
sounds like
it
it just wasn't
was
part of the plan.
it was, because when did that happen? Like, 2024, was it?
October 7, 23. So
23, yeah.
you were already in the middle of it. Because I remember when we
Mhm,
were talking, me and you
mhm.
were already in the traveling and you were experiencing it, but through travels and meeting people. I remember like you were telling me like this is what those people are thinking, this is what those people are thinking, or something like that.
Yeah, and then a lot of people were going to, like, Tel Aviv and whatnot, and I was like, "Why do so many people go to Israel?" And then everything else was, like, going on, and I was like, "Okay, we don't like them. Cool." But yeah, you learn a
Um,
lot about history while you're traveling. That was really insightful.
and Carla, money-wise, do you mind if we talk about budget?
I
What is
think
it?
I spent
Yeah,
55K, I think, in those all
for
those
all
months.
of this.
Yeah, for
And I
all of that.
remember, if I'm not mistaken, you mentioned it was about like maybe 5 to 10,000 the first trip in Europe, and then it was maybe about 5,000 for the Latin. I remember those numbers because I'm thinking for myself.
I don't
Um,
remember, but if I
yeah,
said that, yes, let's go with that.
yes.
Over what
I think it
timeline
was
this
that
is? 55K over how long?
two
It was like
years.
a year and a half, yeah, but I count, like, I mean, I was coming home and, like, I was still paying my car insurance, and I was still, like, there were bills that were included in that, so it probably was less. I just didn't wanna do the math, so I went, "What did I have in the beginning? What did I have when I came back?"
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that was, like, 2 years of living, and most of it was
Wow.
traveling. But yeah,
Um,
it's really affordable.
I was gonna say, like,
so
I work remote. That means like I could go on that trip right now and actually save way more money than I'm paying on rent,
Yep,
actually.
you
I
can.
would just have
probably
to be okay with the discomfort of living out of a backpack. And for me, that's
You don't
crazy
have to
right
live
now.
out of a backpack because you would do longer travel, right? So, like, you could take a giant carry-on bag, or what's it called? Under the carousel, whatever it's called, the bigger
mhm,
bag.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Check bag.
I'll
You could
check
take
in.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The math that I'm doing is I don't have like I have to pay rent. So I'm thinking it saves money if 25K for the year all expenses and I'm
Yeah.
living remote. But now it's 25K on top of rent. So that's something I would have to pay attention to or have a place to store all my shit kind of thing.
Actually, there is a Survivor player who actually now lives in Mexico. It's cheaper. He's been living in an all-inclusive hotel in Mexico, and he said it's cheaper to do that than actually living here because he just got hotel cleaning and open food and beverage, blah blah blah, like and that. And he just go and does his thing, like he's doing his work and whatever. But like
Mhm.
sometimes it is cheaper to make decisions like this, where like let me just go travel and do something like that compared to living because US is really expensive.
Significantly, yeah.
Yeah.
But you could do it
So,
ML. Like, what's it called? I think what you're saying is paying your current rent. Like, I don't know why you would do that. Like, you would probably wait until your lease is over and then,
Yeah,
or
but
like
that's
try to
why I'm
close it.
thinking backpack because it's like I can't keep coming back and re-upping on my oh, you're saying just take a checked bag around the world with you, and that's
Mhm.
mhm,
not yeah, so I don't have okay. I'm now
you
with
sell
you.
everything
Before I
and
was
go
not.
travel.
Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe future me, she can deal with that. Right now, I don't even wanna leave my apartment. That's the
Well,
phase
that's
I'm in.
good.
I'm in a
That's
cocooning
okay.
phase right now. Yeah,
That's good. You're about to become a butterfly from the sounds of it.
yeah.
Carla, let's talk a little bit about travel experience because I know you on a personal level, and I even felt a huge difference in who you became from just having those experiences. Do you have like a specific maybe moment on your travel that you can maybe remember that you felt like I see the world differently now or something like that? Or like maybe
Yeah.
changed how you
What
see life
skills did
or
you
the world?
learn that have shifted your like, what he's saying? Like, what skills did you learn? What might have shifted? Like, how what do you attribute that shift to?
Yeah, I think when I was in Thailand, that was the first place I went to in Southeast Asia. So I'd finished up Europe, so I did like Greece and Croatia. Those places were really cool. And then yeah, I went to Thailand. That's the first stop in Asia. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would get on a flight that long to across the world to Asia. Never, 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 never. I mean, I had friends that were like Vietnamese while growing up. I just never like Filipino. Like I just never saw it for myself. And Thailand is impactful. Like it is like a postcard.
Mm,
What do you mean?
It's beautiful. Like it's just the green is my favorite color now because of Southeast Asia. It's just like it's just there's so much forestation and so much life and the people are so kind.
Mm,
They're very much what's that called? Where they don't have a
hospitable?
lot. Yeah, they don't have a lot and they are very hospitable.
Mm,
It's
generous,
just the
probably.
kindness. Yeah, generous was what I was looking for. Yeah, they're very just they give you the shirts off their back without even, like it's the last one that they have. And they know you're American too, so they know you have a lot of things and they're just still like so helpful, so kind. I mean, some of the kindest people that I met while traveling, just in Southeast Asia or just in general while traveling, I met some of the kindest people. There are more kind people than terrible people, even though it feels like right now that there are a lot of terrible people. There are more kind people. But I think Thailand was the moment where I was like, oh, this is real life. Like this is like this exists. This is like who would have thought? Like you can't even dream this. Like I couldn't have dreamt that. Like there's no
mm,
way. And I just remember every day in Thailand. I think it was in Thailand for like 29 days. Every day I woke up in Thailand, I was so grateful. I was like, I'm in Thailand. Like, this is so insane. Like, I could have never written it for myself. Never, 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 never. So I think that for me was a really big like shift, like a big like,
mm,
oh, there's so much that's possible. Life is so much more grand and yet still so small. Because you would run into people that I ran into someone in Latin America that I met in Laos and she remembered me. And I had met so many people by that point. And if I didn't have you on my social media, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. You know what I mean? Like, because there's way too many people. And she was like, Carla, Carla. And I was like, hello. How do I know you, strange person? She was so sweet. And she's like, "Yeah, we met at this one party." And I was like, "We did? That's so cool." Anyways, life is like, it's everything you want to make it. It's so cool. But again, that comes with a humongous amount of privilege, right? Like, I couldn't
I
have
mean,
done it
I think
without
that's
it.
the plus side to hostels too that people don't
Mhm.
really take into account is like you make those friends that are also like you, like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
traveling the world and like yeah, you start to realize, "Oh, I'm going on that same leg. Like, great, now I have
Yeah.
somebody I know." Like that
Mhm.
again, like I know I said like I wouldn't want to do a hostel again, but like I would want to do like a work retreat kind of thing where
Mhm.
it's like you go meet strangers doing the same thing. But I love that. But yeah, you were talking about what shifted you? Was it the world opening up?
It was just you meet all these people and like everyone's the same in the great way where like everyone has this really cool story to tell. And life is, everyone just lives life. So I don't like I feel like Thailand was the most impactful and like the moment where I was like, we're gonna go do this. We're just like I had more ideas. I felt more brave. I felt like I was I settled correctly, especially because Europe, in Italy, 6 weeks into the traveling, I got pickpocketed. Yeah, horrendous, like nightmarish. I mean, whole wallet consumed, like just taken. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know it was taken for sure?
Oh, yeah,
Or
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. So I
you saw
didn't
them do
realize.
it? Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't realize. Oh my God, I feel like it's a movie. I feel like all these moments are movies, pivotal moments in life. But it was a lesson I needed to learn. Anyways, I was at the metro. I was helping an older lady that was staying at the hostel with her bags. My number one rule is always have a hand on your bag. Just you always have a hand on your bag at all times. That's why I carry my backpack and I maybe have a backpack in front. But like I always have a hand on my bag. But I was helping an older lady and then I saw a guy and I was like, he's a pickpocketer. But I had already saw him. Like, it's fine. I'm aware of him. The metro comes, the train, and it opens the door and the lady's just standing in there. I've been to New York. I've met like what's it called? Scary people. She's just standing in the way. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna bump into her. She's not moving. Well, I don't know what it was like so many people. And then the guy must have pushed me from my back to get into the metro to the train. And the movement of the backpack, like pushing me, took the sensation from the front. So she took out the wallet and walked out. But I mean, like, it was like a whirlwind. I felt like I was like it's like a washing machine. Like, there were so many, and I couldn't find the lady who was with me. And
Like an
I was like,
Ocean
I have her
12
bag.
movie.
Yeah, yeah, exactly that. The director's like, in action. And you're just like, like, I swear to God, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I remember everything. And I found the lady whose bags I'm holding. And I'm like, here's your bags. Are you okay? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, sounds great. And I'm just holding on to the train. And as I get, I think it was like 2 stops. And when I get off, immediately I go get my phone. I'm like, why's my bag open? My phone's in there. My passport's in there. My wallet's not in there. Just cold sweat, cold sweat. But again, the universe is silly. The universe is very silly. For some reason, I had booked a 5-day Airbnb already paid by my credit card. So everything was paid for. I still had my phone. I still had my passport. All I owed in 5 days was €5 to the Airbnb host, who was super gracious and was like, whenever you get it, just pay me. And I'm sure if I didn't figure out the money situation, they would have been okay with me not giving them the $5. They completely understood. But had it been like a hostel that normally I only pay a deposit, so I wouldn't have had cash. Like, I was so frazzled. I'm on the train crying, like, whole movie scene.
Girl,
But
I got
my
locked out the
dad,
hostel at like 6 a.m. Couldn't get in and had to go like find my friend's house and because I knew they were staying nearby
yeah,
and I
yeah.
had like my phone was dying. So like I think
Oh,
I
you had
just
fun.
knocked on their it was crazy. And they
Yeah, yeah.
I got saved. I found them with my phone dead. Found them, got let in, slept there until like 7 a.m. And then I went and I found the bell for the hostel. When I got back to the hostel, I was like, that's where the fucking bell was. There was a bell. Oh my
Were
God.
you under the influence by any chance?
I was
At 6 in the
not.
morning? Okay.
I
No, 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 it's
was
okay.
not.
It's okay. That's perfect. There's no judgment. I just needed to know the rest of the story because you couldn't find a
No,
bell.
that's just a normal move for me to
You
make. Like, I think
okay.
I
No, that's
was
okay.
looking, my lens was fear at the time because it was like 2 in the
Oh, okay.
morning
Because it was
and I'm
okay.
navigating a country by myself that I don't know. I think that might also lend itself to your shift. How was navigating new places for you? Like, that's terrifying. Like,
Mm.
just remembering
Oh,
that
it was
night for me.
horrendous. No, it took a while. It took a really long time. Like, thankfully, I just had 5 days on like the Italian coast, and I was like, well, I'm gonna spend my time in Airbnb. But I just continued to like have crazy chats with myself and like tear sessions and be like, is this worth it? Is this a sign? Is this just a challenge? What am I
Mm.
getting from this? Am I continuing? Like, what's the plan? You have time. I think I just felt more like you feel more not vandalized. What is it?
Sabotaged.
Yeah, there's a violated. I felt violated.
Mm.
That was the biggest thing. And like while I was on the train, I could remember seeing her and then I could see her movements like afterwards,
Mm.
like I could see how she pickpocketed, how she walked out, how I had looked at her, but I really wasn't looking at her kind of vibe. Like that's why I say it's like a movie. It was almost like it was supposed to happen. It was
Mm.
like a lesson that I needed to learn at that moment because if that happened in Brazil or somewhere else, I think it would have been much harder than Europe.
Mm.
Because all I had to do was, okay, mom, can you buy me a flight to Spain? I'm going to go stay with my aunt. Can you send me the credit cards? I ordered the new credit cards. I've canceled everything. All they took was the $200 cash that was in there. They weren't able to, they started to try to use the cards immediately, but they couldn't.
Mm.
So like I lost 200 euros and my birth control was in there, but I had extra. So I was able to figure everything out. My dad was just able to send me money through Western Union, and it all worked out. And then I stayed with my aunt for like 2, 3 weeks, and then I continued. I went to Croatia, Greece, and slowly got my rhythm back. But for a while, it
Mm.
was like I was stressed. But yeah, I felt like I was part of the journey. Some people, my mom and like different friends were like, that old lady was probably on it, and I was like, yeah, but I'm not gonna be upset at I'm not going to be upset with myself for having the character trait that's going to help someone. Like I'm not, can't, like, I'm not in the wrong for that.
I
Anyways.
agree. I
Um,
agree.
but yeah, so that, I forget why I went back to that, but like, that was a big lesson that
No,
happened.
that is
And
an important
yeah.
story because these are stories that people. It brings me to like kind of like my next fun question, but these are
Mhm.
stories that people don't tell. You just all talk about like the everything is great and like, it is. It does sound like great from the outside, but then
Oh no,
like
I have
you do
terrible
have
stories.
challenges. I do have to say though, actually we can get back to that because I don't want to derail this. Is there something throughout your trips that you would like, how like I always see those funny videos. It's just like reality versus Instagram. You know what
Oh,
I'm talking
yeah. Yeah.
about? It's just like you go to a touristy location or like a country or like the idea. Do you have any moments like that where like you went somewhere and you were like, that is such a disappointment? Like Instagram is not reality.
They warn you about a lot of places. Like the Mona Lisa, they warn you about like the depression that like Chinese tourists, like there's a place, I think it's almost like a small little embassy, but it's basically when Chinese tourists go to, where's the Mona Lisa? It's in Italy. No, it's in France.
It's
Um,
Paris, yeah,
yeah, it's Paris.
and Louvre.
So in case they're disappointed by the Mona Lisa or like the Eiffel Tower, they have somewhere to
It's like
go to like
this
talk to
small.
someone. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But I wasn't really disappointed. I think everything was so grand and so different and so
Mm,
cool in its own way. Yes, the hostels probably were the ones that always surprised you the most. Like you would like
mm.
look at the picture and then you're like showering and your own like bodily fluids and all kinds of things. Like I don't know how I
If
got through that. I don't know what meant like where I went in my head to get through the hostel phase, but I tried to do it recently when I went to Puerto Rico. I had to leave the next morning. I was like, "You could keep the money." I had to go to a hotel. I had to spend so much money for a hotel. I cannot do it now. I don't know how I did it. I have no idea. I don't know what
so
I walked into.
So knowing what you know and what you've been through and you want to redo it all over again,
Mhm.
is that the one thing you would change?
No, I would never change that. Oh my god, no, my whole experience would be so different. You
Yeah,
If you're young or even like I was gonna be like, even if you're in your 30s, I was gonna insult the 30s.
it's okay.
No, it's okay. Like if you're in your 20s, 30s, like you should be staying at a hostel. It's just like the people you meet, especially if you're traveling on your own, like
Mm,
I was never alone. Like there were moments, some small moments, but for the most part, I was like crossing borders with someone I met at a hostel. Like I was
mm.
always with someone. I'm like, okay, you guys want to go out? Like you guys want to go see this like really cool like mural or whatnot? You just do it with people.
Yeah, I
So,
had the best
And you
time
get
going
to see
clubbing
what
with them.
their I
pardon?
You gotta know.
go
I
up on
What
that.
did you say?
was saying
Oh,
I
no,
I got to go party with them to go to the club, and it was like I wouldn't have gone to a club on that trip
You
because I
wouldn't
was there
have.
for a wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have without them, and we were out. Like it was a very long night. And I felt safe
Yeah.
because I was with strangers from the hostel.
Yeah, yeah. My mom goes, but you didn't know any of these people. What do you mean? Like how can you trust, like your intuition, mom? Like at some point you just have to trust it. Like you're
Mm.
never gonna meet anyone if you don't just jump into it. But yeah, like the whole reason I was partying was because other people were like, we're going out, and I was like, no, I'm gonna stay in my pajamas. And the young people, they don't care. They'll pull you out. They're like, we're going out, like in these same
Let's
clothes.
go.
Yeah.
I do remember even like in Asia, you mentioned like one time you told me you had like a certain itinerary and then like you just changed your whole itinerary based on like people that you met itinerary and you just went
I do
with
that.
them.
Yeah, I did that
Yeah.
all the time. I had an idea. For the most part, I went the same way that I thought I was gonna go, but, like, yeah, what did I change? In Southeast Asia, I met these 2 lovely gals, and I traveled with them from, like where was I? Laos in Southeast Asia, through Cambodia, and through Vietnam, and then the Philippines. So I was with them for, like
Mm.
one girl I was with for 2 months, and the other one we were with for a month. Yeah. So, like, those are
Wow.
my sisters, yeah. You
Oh,
build a bond. The only reason I don't talk to the one that I was with for 2 months is because she lives in Australia and the time zone's crazy. But, like, when I went to Australia, I went to visit her, so
I met a
that's
lot of people
awesome.
from Australia in the hostels. It's like they be out and
oh,
about.
those
Like,
are they're the coolest. It's Aussies and, Dutch people, so from the Netherlands. That's all you meet, like, that's the thickest crowd.
did you get a lot
That's
like when
so
I
cool.
said this was new for me, like to actually speak to locals, but like or just other people outside of America because when we were in the hostel and we were having like dinner, I guess everybody was there. People were saying low key disrespectful shit to me as an American and like I
Oh, I
knew
don't find
not
it
to sweat
disrespectful.
it because like Americans just have that persona, but they legit think we are Jersey Shore. Is that what you experienced?
Yeah, they do.
And
Yeah,
Noel?
they think I got a lot of, like, Cali, but, like, it for us, like, you guys probably don't hear my accent, right? But, like, when you start to listen to yourself in those places where you sound off, I really do go, "Oh my god. Oh my god. What do you mean, slay?" Like, you really that's what you sound like. Like, I do sound American because people would mock me, and I'd be like, "No, I really sound like that. That's crazy. I can't
My
believe."
Wow.
feelings are hurt retroactively. I'm like, "Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't dumb American."
No, but then you're
Ac
like, "Oh, it's fine. I'm just American. It's
Actually,
okay."
Carla, I remember when you first got back for the first couple months, you had some sort of a British accent.
I have, like, cadences. So, like,
Yes.
certain words yeah, yeah, yeah. Still sometimes I still do. So, like, I was getting that often where I would go to restaurants or something, and people would be like, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, "I'm American. I'm Dominican and Cuban." And then
Yeah.
they'd be like, "No, but, like, you almost sound English." And I go, "I'm not. Like, it's just I'm not." It's my friends. It's because I met a lot of English
Yeah, I want to say
people,
they probably
and I
rubbed
still
on
talk
you.
to them. Like, I still send, like one of my best friends, she lives in England, and I talk to her weekly, so we'll send voice notes, so I think that's where it comes from, but yeah,
Mm,
you do
That's
pick
pretty
up on
cool.
things, yeah.
yeah.
So if you did want to move to England, you could pick up an English accent in, like, 5 years, like, proper.
Yeah. I mean, I picked up my American accent. I would have never, because like in Lebanon, the English that I've learned was like the British English. Like that's the
Mm.
proper, I guess, school
Mhm.
one. But then I moved here and like I just now I feel like my whole accent is very American. When I go back to Lebanon, they're like, "Oh my God, you talk like that." And I was like, I just don't know. I just speak American. I don't know what you guys are
You don't
hearing.
hear it when you're at home, but you hear it when you're outside. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Did you see so like what about cultural differences? Did any culture or anything like throughout your trip you felt like it was very different? I mean, obviously there's a lot of difference, but there was something that was like so like, oh my God, this is how we do it in the US and like this is how they're
Probably
living here.
different things that were let's see, Asia, the toilets, the squat toilets, where there's just a
Mm-hmm.
hole on the ground and you just squat to use the toilet. That was interesting. But you get used to it. You adapt.
I bet
Nature's
you had
calling. You
smoother
just
poops too.
That's what
yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
was yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
guess what? I went and bought those stools that you put in front of your toilet now, because like it says that it is healthier to use
Mhm.
that. So now in the US, we put a toilet seat, but then now you go and buy the thing to make it into a squat toilet.
No, it's supposed to be really good. And bidets are like why we're so disgusting as Americans. I mean, complete insult by that. Yeah, we should be using bidets. We should really be washing. We really should.
Offense
That
intended.
is yeah, 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 no, yeah, we should be washing. Any Muslim countries, so like Malaysia and Turkey,
Mm.
hearing the prayer go off, that was the coolest thing ever. I was like, "What is this? What
Aw.
do you mean?" So like the whole country, like just religion, and like you're like, "What?" And like I'd be in an Uber, and the taxi driver would be like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to stop," and I'd be like, "That's okay." It's because he'd have to pray, and I'd be like, "That's okay. We could do that. It's okay." Like
I
I
love
just thought that was
it.
so cool. Yeah, like, it was just
Aw.
so unique, uniquely its own. Food was very different in many places.
Let's talk about food because we just talked about that last week when you and I were having lunch. You were extremely picky. How did that
Before
change
going,
you?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, how did it change me? Well, I didn't wanna be the typical American who would just we show up places sometimes, not all, but we sometimes show up to places and we're like, "Hey, can we, like, just get a burger?" I did not wanna get a burger in Japan, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be respectful of the culture. So if I'm in Thailand and thing to eat is a curry, I'm just gonna eat a curry. There were some things I would take out, But for the most part, beggars can't be choosers. I'm gonna eat a pepper, I guess, or like if it comes with onions, I'll eat it. Uh, but yeah, it just changed. Like I tried sushi for the first time in Brazil of all places, and now I love sushi. I used to be obsessed with Mexican food. I still love a good taco, and a good chimichanga, but like now Asian food is my go-to. So like I'm craving dumplings, I'm craving sushi, I'm craving pho, like just more often. But yeah, I dream about places, like food places. Like if someone were to be like, "Hey, you want to go to Malaysia?" I'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And I would already
Let's
know where
go.
I'm going to eat. Yeah, yeah.
That's how I crave Lebanon for like the shawarmas and knefe. Every time, like that's literally what I think about is food. Is I just want to go there to just to that place and have that same sandwich all over again.
Yep, that's it. So if you guys ever want to go to Malaysia, I've got 3 places I need to go to badly.
Let's do it. What about the US? Did you make you appreciate things about the US different?
If I'm gonna be honest, probably not.
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I'm appreciative that it's just hard right now in the climate that we're in. Because I was gonna be like, we are privileged because we come from the dollar, and it is like, it's the more
Mm-hmm.
aggressive currency. Like you could do more with a dollar in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Like I forget where I was, but I was technically like a millionaire, and I think I had just taken out $100. I think it was in Laos. But
Mm-hmm.
like I had taken out a ton of, or like Argentina, the amount of notes I had, I felt like it was so uncomfortable. I had to like hide some in other places because there's physically so many notes. So like that's something I'm like grateful for, but obviously with what's going on, like I don't think it's worth the
What
blood.
about what
But
about comfort? Do you feel like there's comfort in the US compared to like other, you know what I'm
yeah,
talking about?
there's
Yeah.
AC. AC is like a big thing that other places don't have. But honestly, I accommodated so well. Like the first time I
Mm.
took a hot shower in Thailand and I walked out and I was sweating, I said I will never take a hot shower in this country again. And I just took cold showers. I put a fan around me and you just adapt. So I don't know, probably, but I can't remember. I mean, I'm grateful, my parents are here, so like that's what I'm always grateful. Yeah, I've got friends, got a good job. I'm always able to get a job out here. So I'm not ungrateful. Just I crave the other life is yeah, it's
Look at
just
this
different.
journey. I mean, I know I've experienced it firsthand with you because you were really like you've always been like my good friend, like a kind person. So I don't think kindness has changed personally, but I felt like you were more confident when you came back. And obviously you had a lot of like you're living on your own, traveling the world. Like there's things that you've done I would have never have experienced yet. But even like your food and like you like it really changes the person when
It
you
like
go and
it's
do like
yeah,
a journey.
it's impactful. It just is. You see so many things, good and bad. And you hear a
Mm-hmm.
lot of stories, personal ones, historical ones, and you like everything shifts. Like
Mm.
it just does.
And that's what they tell you about people who actually stay in their village. Like Amal, stay in New Jersey, grew up in Jersey, and like never go anywhere else. You'll never gonna really get to experience the world or like get to learn anything different. But like
And look at Mel
the more
now.
you,
She's in Florida. She's a Florida girl.
oh
Do you
my
want so?
God,
Who stayed in a
You
you
scared of
hostel?
walking
explore.
so? It'd be fun to stay in a hostel all together. That'd be cool.
No. Let's just do an Airbnb,
After
girl.
hearing you, I'm like, I would consider it, but we'll see. Maybe it depends on the locations and the countries. But I'll think about it. Like maybe Europe, I'll be more open for it.
We just got to
But
convince Mel.
there you go.
Immediately no. But I appreciate that you want me around. I will stay at an Airbnb
I
nearby.
always want you around.
Okay, so what
And
That'd be
advice would you
fun.
give to others? Because we are winding down. Oh, sorry, Noelle, you had something else you wanted to ask? Go ahead.
the other really story that I wanted to share is I remember that one time I called you and we were just like catching up. And that was like a year and you're traveling. And again, I felt very jealous because I asked you, I was like, what are you doing? You were in Germany. I remember exactly where you were
I was
at
in the zoo.
in a
I was in
zoo.
Berlin Zoo. Yeah, because you were talking to me about this friend that you had and how you guys were thinking about starting a podcast and like your ideas. And I was like, this is so cool.
Yep. But my takeaway during that time, I remember I was like, what do you mean you're in the zoo? And you're like, yeah, I just woke up today and I just didn't feel like doing anything. So I'm just like sitting here in the zoo and like you were there for like, I don't know, 5, 6 hours or something like
I
that.
watched
Or
dolphins. I watched like a dolphin show. I saw penguins while I was talking to you. It was so cool.
but like the freedom to just wake up and like have nowhere to be, no goals to be accomplished, like
Okay, hold
just
on. Let's slow down. I
be.
got goals. I
Okay.
do got goals.
No, no,
But no,
no,
no, no,
but
you're good. No,
that
you didn't mean offense. But you can technically. It's not as big as like leaving your home and like if you can't afford it, like but you can just wake up one day and you can call into work and be like, "Hey, I'm not feeling well." And they don't need to know your business and you can go to the zoo if you want to go to the zoo and go watch
but
some dolphins.
that's not what I meant. I was talking about
No, I know, I know, I know.
that
It
day
felt
to
for you,
wake
yeah.
up. Like I remember when you said that, I was like, what do you mean you just woke up? Like if I was traveling, I would be still thinking about like, oh no, I need to go to like I need to accomplish stuff. But I felt
Yeah.
that freedom that you had that day, and I was really envious of that. I was like, wow, like you just woke up today and you didn't have anywhere to
Mhm.
be. Like you didn't need to be producing anything or doing and
Yeah.
just live in the moment. That was a good conversation. Like I would
Noelle,
never forget
are
this
you
phone call with
planning
you.
a journey? Because you said jealous and envious of the travel, so it sounds like you want to
I
make this
am.
decision.
I
Can we
am.
help you make the decision?
I would love to.
What's
And
stopping you?
I think feel I
That's a
think
good
money
question.
right now. We did talk about that, Carla and I offline, because I do have dependents, you know.
You
But
do.
I do see myself at some point be like plan like what you did, which is like save, let's say, I don't know, 40,000 or whatever, and just go do that. Like I could do it for like a year or something. It doesn't need to be the whole world, because there's countries that don't have an interest as much as you do, like with the countries that you visited. But like
Mhm.
I would like to have the freedom even for 6 months. I would like to do that. I'm telling you, I'm like extremely inspired by your story.
You could do it. You don't have to do it the same way I did it. You don't have to like quit your job. I think your job's a bit more cool and you could become a nomad and take your job with you and still like enjoy it. Just do it long term and slower. A lot of people were doing that. Like it doesn't have to be as drastic. Like it could be short term or it could be like, you still have a
So
job.
and this is the part where you ask your question that you were closing with, because I think that question was what she's telling me as someone who's considering doing this.
What advice would you give to others?
Do what you want whenever you want. Well, within reason, right? Because if we're talking to men, sometimes what they want to do isn't within reason.
With
But
consent.
with consent, yeah, let's start there. As long as you're not trying to, infiltrate somebody else. No, but seriously, just yeah. If it's within reason, if you're not harming anyone, if you're not asking anyone for the money, you can afford it. If it's something you want to do, you just do it.
What if
That's
they're afraid?
do it scared.
Afraid to
That
lose
was
my job, do it scared.
do it scared. That's what I told myself the whole time. Do it scared. But just do it. Do like I was jumping in
I
like from
needed to hear
cliffs,
that.
scared. And then I would
Yeah.
make the decision, did I like that? And I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. But you just do it scared. And what's the worst that could happen? And you can't say that you're going to die because you're always going to die. You always run at risk of dying. So that's not a valid excuse. So then
Mhm.
just, yeah, just do it.
It sounds like
Do it
it's okay to
scared.
do it scared.
It's
Yeah.
okay, Habibi.
That's the question we usually end with every episode, is just tell someone what is one thing that you would say it's okay to. Do you have another answer that you just said, or
No,
like do you
yeah.
think it's that
It's
do it
yeah,
scared?
no. It's okay to live your life however you want to live it. If you want to live in Jersey your whole life, it is okay to do that. If you want to move to Florida, you could also do that. If you want to be married and test it out, get a house, the whole thing, right?
And
And then
then
you
get divorced and sell the
and then you
house?
decide that it's not for you and you still love the person, you're okay to change it. It's okay to change your mind. Um, and for me, that was really important because I was like, you could just do it. Like, I'm going to say that I'm doing it for a year. I'm going to leave work for a year. But worst case, let's say those 6 weeks when I got pickpocketed, I decided I wanted to go back and just call it a quits. I could have, and all I could have said, I could have started applying for jobs, and I would have been like, I tried. It wasn't for me. I took a break.
I
And then
love
you
that.
get another job. You just shift. Just go with the flow.
Scared.
Do it
That's
scared.
gonna be the title of our episode, Amanda.
Noelle,
Yeah.
do it scared.
Yes.
Oh, I
All
felt like I
right.
didn't get to hear you guys speak enough, but that's okay.
That's the whole
You
point.
guys
It's
know
for
this
you
isn't
to
my
speak
norm. I
and
don't
for
like
us to
talking.
hear.
Yeah, this isn't my,
That's why
yeah,
you're
yeah.
our guest. Yes. But seriously, thank you so much, Carla. I
Oh,
think
thanks.
that
Thanks
was
for
such
having
a
me,
good
guys.
conversation. now I can talk to you more about it without being
Oh,
holding
yeah,
back
I'd
on
like to
stuff.
preface this with the fact that Noel is a very interesting friend. Anytime I wanted to talk to him about travel, it was like, "No, save it for the podcast. Save it for the podcast." So I'm very glad this is over. I'm glad that people have
Yes,
this so that I
yes,
can
Mm,
have my friend back.
and we can move on with our lives.
Yes, yes, yes. And maybe
Thank you
get a
for
Mel at a
joining.
hostel. That's all we need to do. Yes.
Maybe, yeah.
Thank you,
Anything's
Carla.
possible. All right, y'all. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed this conversation, please consider leaving a comment and a review. It helps us improve and reach more people.
We're all just trying to figure it out one conversation at a time. So go easy on yourself, trust the process, and remember, it's okay, Habibi.